Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in. This is the Birds of a Feather podcast with your boy Q City.
Taj Bravado.
And this is episode 31. Reading is fundamental. You understand me? So we're gonna look
hmm
at last week versus the Jags, look at next week versus the Titans. We're gonna do in division and then give me props. City talk at the end. So come along with us, enjoy this ride. So Brody, check it out. Last week, 23-7 loss to the Jags in London, early primetime game. So everybody saw it. This was a disgusting loss. It was disrespectful, honestly. I felt offended. I felt like they was talking to me personally. But what were your thoughts on the game, bro?
Again, the defense did what they had to do. I mean, the defense was outside of that one play, the defense was great. But for the
I,
second week in a row, the offense is not doing what we needed to do.
13 points in two games.
The
13 points in two games.
we have a offensive minded head coach, and the offense looks mindless.
Now, hear me out. Hear me out. I'm not gonna lie to you. The run scheme was so creative. Like the run game was really moving. I really think that's what opened Bijan up a lot. Like he was super creative with the run scheme. There was one counter play where it was really Ritter's ball handling, but like he, hiked the ball, took a false step, turned around, and showed his back to the defense as if it was a play action, but then it was like a counter handoff, and Bijan
hmm
got like broke open on it. I really think the run game was super creative, and you saw its creativity.
Well, I mean, that's what Art gonna do. Like the run game, he when it comes to the run game, he's Shanahan, but he needs the other parts to get the Shanahan level.
Yeah, so our passing game is non-existent, and I think first, touch on all three phases. If I look at special teams, I don't feel like our special teams played any significant factor in the game. I feel like our punt team and punt coverage was fine. Um, I feel like we didn't have any reasonable returns or ability to make a return. I saw CP. I remember texting you. I seen CP 84 out there. He was only on the field for for kickoff returns. Right, that's the only time he was on the field. Uh, I was kind of like, "Where's your role in the offense?" But I guess they're slow rolling him back.
Yeah, because that's what they did with Akuda. Like they activated him in one game. He played a little bit, and then I expect since the next game's back home, I expect we see a little more CP to see what this offense is gonna look like at full strength.
I pray. So, any other special teams call outs? Because I don't, who didn't hit for me, but it's really just because the offense didn't do their job.
Special team, special teams, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't special. So
Absolutely. Now, when it comes to the defense, man, it's 23 points on the scoreboard. You take off seven for the pick six. That defense allowed one busted coverage touchdown and three field goals.
yeah,
That defense played well enough to keep you in this game.
oh definitely, definitely. The defense is because there was a lot of hype around the defense, and the defense has, for the most part, been as advertised. Maybe even better because like how being a Falcon fan and defense goes. Like you kind of approach things with a little caution, but this defense has exceeded my expectations so far.
I think far and away this defense has kept you in games, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. And won us games.
Yeah, won you the Carolina game, won you the Packers game. Uh, I don't feel like the defense had a real chance in hell versus the Lions, but I felt like the defense had a chance today. I felt like the elephant in the room was the busted coverage on Ridley. You know what I'm saying, out there on AJ. But outside of that, AJ put on, like, grabbed his suitcase and he traveled with him all day. Kept Ridley to 2 for 28 yards.
Yeah,
outside of that one busted coverage touchdown, Ridley didn't do nothing.
exactly. Yeah, you was very quiet.
Now,
AJ, yeah,
Kirk was able to get off, and I'm not sure if that was a function of Akuda or the scheme, but
that
either
wasn't
way,
Akuda.
Kirk was
Akuda
having
put
a day.
that Kirk out of the slot. That wasn't Akuda.
So Akuda was lined up at left
Outside. Yeah,
day.
you're talking about the offer.
There we go. 20. Boy was
Yeah,
getting roasted.
yeah. Oh yeah, he was like I mean that's the weak point, and that's where teams are going to try to attack is at that nickel corner because outside we pretty solid. AJ is elite, and then Akuda he has I mean he has the draft pedigree and some unrealized potential. So teams are probably going to take their chances with the lesser caliber guy in the offer. So
And they picked on him. He had one splash play today where he blew up a screen, but even with them like hitting Kirk repeatedly, bro, they really weren't able to capitalize. They
oh no,
really weren't. They kept them in great position today. Now I know the play calling changed drastically once the pick six happened. We'll get to the offense, but like I felt for a good part, our defensive play calling was in the game. When the game was still in doubt, in question, they were able to get the ball back to the offense. Like I felt like this defense like slowed up, did like not slowed up. This defense showed up and did exactly what their game plan was to the Jags, right? Grady had a sack. Like it was a good game defensively.
it was like I have like because it's like you're watching the game like you can't put nothing on the defense because the defense, given the situations they were put in the short fields and the hold them down, like they did what they could. The offense has to give you more.
That second pick that resulted in no points when they well, I think they ended in the red zone, didn't they?
Yeah, because because what he got the pick and he ended if he didn't drop the ball, he might have had a pick six.
He might have had a pick six if he didn't drop the ball. But I remember like he was at like right on the edge of the red zone or either in the
Yeah,
red
maybe
zone.
like the 20. It was around the 20 roughly. I don't know remember the exact, but I know it was around that range.
And you're able to end that possession with no points given up. Like,
Yeah, the defense did which all you can ask.
all right, so we gotta, this is gonna be the bulk of the time. This is gonna be where it's at. We gotta talk about the offense, bro.
Do we got
This
to?
offense is just like the word stale, unimaginative, uh, bad execution come to mind, but it really boils down to our quarterback just did not make the plays necessary and actually made the plays that cost us the game.
See, watching the game, seeing how Ritter adjusted in the second half really frustrated the hell out of me because it's like
Man, what?
in the second
Man,
half he's playing with such just
confidence.
just confidence. He's decisive and relatively accurate for him. But in the first half, none of that was there. Like,
So here's my thinking. Here's my thinking because they were able to score seven relatively easy, right?
yeah,
So when it comes to the Falcons offense, y'all kind of got behind, but the run game was still a factor. What is our first 15 and how were we getting Ritter involved within the first 15? Like what are the reads? And that breaks down to basically the title, bro. Like where are your eyes on the defense? Because even the announcer broke down the simple uh, flat slant concept and how Ritter literally just read it wrong. Like
hmm
he The corner went over. You took the slant route. Bro, I'm sitting at home on my couch and I see this. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course that's a pick six. Like, dude walked into it.
Yeah,
I,
and I think he was feeling phantom pressure on that because he didn't have to throw the ball. He still had plenty of time.
and he wasn't even getting peppered today like that.
Well, they sacked him about 3 times, but
But they
the
sacked three
for the
times.
for the, for the for the most part, the offensive line that was probably one of the better offensive line's better games.
That was one of their better games, bro. There were three sacks, but there were not a huge ton of quarterback pressures. Not after that Lions game. That
Oh
offensive
yeah.
line, I cannot put it on them this week. Like
Oh no, yeah, you
sacks are
can't,
gonna
you
be.
can't,
I
yeah,
feel
yeah,
like
you can't.
I feel like one sack was off a play action, just like a missed block. I want to say by Bergeron. Um, Another sack was he rolled out of the pocket into the pressure, and Josh Allen sacked him. Um,
Mm.
I don't remember the third one off the top of my head, but there was not a huge quarterback pressure today. On a side note, is Trayvon Walker a bust? Because like my man is making no noise.
See, I don't because it's only his second year. It's way too early to be throwing it away because it's like he's not a bad player. So it's way too early to be throwing the bust word around. Because with a player like him, a lot of it comes down to usage. I think Jacksonville is still figuring out how to use them.
I
Now,
mean, he had 3.5 sacks last year. They got him playing stand up linebacker sometime. And I mean, already at the start of the season, he's got 2 sacks. One against us. I think his other one was it was either KC or their first game. So I mean, like 2 sacks, but I don't know, bro. I didn't see any initial pressure from him. As somebody who was kind of built as this athletic freak, I think we called him out as somebody to worry about. And honestly, on that side, they handled him pretty good.
I mean, they handled him good, but I mean, he's still a young player that's still trying to figure things out. Like, because the thing is, even after the draft, he wasn't known for his pass rush acumen. Like, he
Yeah,
was
he was
known
kind
as
of
a physical freak. So he's gonna be one of them guys that might take till year 3 or 4 when he breaks out. Like the same thing with Rashawn Gary with the Packers. It took him. He was that same type of physical freak, but it took him a little time to put it together. Guys, because you take them guys with the hopes that they eventually figure it out.
yeah, and I feel like we made a we made a similar pick with our linebacker, even though he's hurt this year. Like I think we made a similar physical freak pick. Uh,
Yeah,
his
because
feeling,
if it hits, if
his
it hits,
feeling,
it hits.
yeah, his feeling was like they kept talking about how hard he hit.
Nate Land mine was that boy was dropping bombs with them hits.
I'm saying he was putting in work this game, bro. And so like but that goes back to our defense being good. Back to this
Yeah,
offense. So once again, the slant flat concept, just like I don't know what the read was there, what you were looking at. The corner went over. They're conceding the flat route to you. They're conceding the flat route. Like they're saying, get 4 or 5 yards because like we're gonna close, we're gonna pursue, and you're not going to go any like further. We're gonna put you in a third down situation. And like he took the slant, and I don't understand that, bro. Like what are you actually looking at? Or are you just this is where coach said the ball should go, so this is where the ball is gonna go?
it honestly looks like he's pressing, and he just needs to just relax and just play because
I felt
that
like that
game
was in the
we
second.
saw two different. Yeah, in the second half he was just playing, but in the first half he looked like someone like Ritter's a guy that you got to make the game easy for.
Well, I don't
or
think
just let him get in the rhythm.
route
Or
than his second interception. There was no easier read than his second interception
no,
because
okay.
that was a two-man route off of play action. You take the vert. Even if you incomplete it, you take the vert.
I'm gonna have to disagree with that because that was a horrible play design.
Bro, no, like
Because no,
look,
hold on. See, look, it's a horrible play design because both of the routes are crossing at one point. Like, if you're gonna have a two-man route, so you don't want them to like in a cover. They're playing cover three, and both of the routes are going straight to the safety.
no, so listen, because because of the play action concept on that route, because of the play action, and your tight end lined up on the line, you're running your tight end on an in route. So one, the ball should have been out either sooner or he was holding reading
No,
the safety. So listen, he
no,
was
Pitts was out
holding
wide.
reading the safety, right? If you're holding,
Pitts and London were both out wide. Pitts went on the line. They were both out wide at receiver.
I, either way, you're running an in route, right? You're running an in route. Then you're running a vert. Your read is the safety, bro. You're,
Exactly, but the safety didn't move until he threw the ball. Both routes are coming to the safety. He's just sitting there waiting
so that's
because
so that's a hold. But in that situation, you take the vert route. You
I
take
don't
the vert route because
I don't think there's a right answer in that situation. The
even
the
if
the correct the correct situation should have been throwing it off to Tyler Algier in the flat. That should be that's the correct answer because
and then
cover three, if the safety's back there, you don't throw that.
that's another thing. Tyler didn't even turn around on that route, bro. He went to the flat and just drifted and looked back. I'm trying to figure
Who?
out where were you, like you didn't even look like you were expecting the ball. Ritter turned around, faced the defense, immediately stared down his receiver, running the in route the whole way. Your read is the safety. Like your read is the safety in that situation. You take the vert.
Yeah.
If you're gonna throw the in, that in needed to be out as soon as he turned around.
The thing is, I can't agree with that because the linebackers are playing back.
No, so in that situation, like I said, if the linebackers didn't bite, you're running an in route behind them. You should have a touch pass. But if you don't have the touch pass, you don't feel like you can make it over the linebacker head to the in route. You take the vert because at
You
that
still
way
might throw the vert because I think it's a pick either way
it's an arm
because
play. It's an arm
the
play.
safety was the safety was in a reactionary position. He only reacted when he seen the ball was coming, but he was playing deep.
But
And
you got
Jacksonville could do that because hold on, Jacksonville could do that because they're not scared of our. We don't have anyone that's scared them that make them play back. They're not scared about Drake London beating them deep. No one is. So you could throw the vert, but then
he's not going to beat you deep. But you saw in his touchdown pass, he's going to make contested catches.
he will make contested catches. But if you got two people playing deep, he's a one-on-one guy. I don't know if he's going to do this on two on two, and they put their best corner on him. I didn't like the play call.
I don't think that in that situation, I don't feel like the play issue.
For the play that they ran versus cover three is just not a good fit. They should have took the dump off. And or having only two routes on that play is horrible.
Well,
Because what the amount of two man roster we have, it forces Ritter to make a decision that probably he shouldn't. He should just like he should just dump it off to Tyler Algier and let him take the 3 yards. That I don't like the play. I do not like, especially versus that coverage. The play might have worked better versus something else, but versus that coverage, no. Because the thing is, Jacksonville did not respect us deep at all.
Which is why you throw it up. You got to get them to respect you deep. And I feel like we haven't challenged any defense this year on those vertical route concepts, which makes
because we can't get vertical. We don't have a vertical threat.
bro, you gotta make them respect it. If you never throw the ball deep, I'm always going to sit on those routes. And we don't.
I mean, they do. But the thing is, they do. See, look, here's the thing though. It's not that they don't respect us throwing the deep ball. It's the fact they don't respect the speed. Because the thing is, with the speed we got, they can sit on it and still catch up. The only person they got to worry about is Pitts.
Put them up
If they see Pitts, they're doubling.
Even the announcer said that's the situation. You put it up there and you let your big body guys go make a play. He literally did it on the touchdown.
That was a good throw. That was just a good throw because it ain't like he went over the dude. He just had to box him out. That was just a box out throw.
He's using he's using his body.
Yeah, but okay, but that's not the same as throwing a deep pass. Those are two different scenarios.
Listen, bro. Do you think Mike Evans is a burn?
Who? No, but Mike Evans has more speed than Drake London. That's for sure. He can get past the defense, and he's done it consistently.
He's a burn.
He's not a burner, but he knows how to get past the defense.
Their body type London, literally the same.
Body type and the way they play is two different things. Mike Evans can get past the defense. Drake London has not showed me that.
If you're only going to run him on in-breaking routes and straight 10-yard hitches, yes, that's all he's going to do.
But the thing is, Mike Evans and Drake London are only similar when it comes to their body type and maybe like certain other aspects. But Mike Evans is an infinitely better deep threat than Drake London is.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm saying he has the opportunity to do so. Drake London.
Does he? Does he really?
Has not had that opportunity within this offense because the routes that he runs that are vertical are dummy routes. They're never looked at. You just said yourself, like, oh, he wasn't going to throw that. What the hell am I running a vert for? What the hell am I running a 9 for? If I'm never even going to get looked at. You have to put the ball up there for them to respect you as a vertical threat. And we do not. We do not put the ball past 15 yards in the air. We don't do it.
See, I'm not saying that they don't respect him as a vertical threat. I'm saying they don't respect the speed. They will play you because the thing is they're not worried about getting burnt. Sure, he might make a contested catch. They'll live with that. But they're not worried about him. Oh, well, he's gonna beat us along. They're not worried about that. There's no one on this Falcons offense outside of maybe Pitts that they are scared of beating them vertically.
And
yes, you could throw up the contested catch to Drake London, but yes, you have the players for a reason, but that's still not a great play.
I don't think they respect Pitts as a speed function in this offense. To be honest,
they do, but they double him. Pitts has
not got vertical. Pitts has not ran a vertical route in the progression in like 3 games, bro.
He ran one just last week and he overthrew it. The deep post versus the lines that he overthrew. That was a deep route.
He did overthrow that one. Okay, I stand corrected. I said, hey, play his fuck up.
Like Kyle Pitts is our vertical threat, but they double him, so it's not always there. Because Pitts is our most dangerous receiving threat, and teams know that. Now, Pitts also isn't 100%, and Arthur Smith alluded to that in one of the recent pressers. But like, if you're not scared of Drake London's speed because you're like, okay, he's a contested catch guy, boom. The only guy you're really worried about beating you deep is Kyle Pitts. And then we have a guy named Scotty Miller that Arthur Smith is allergic to playing for some reason.
I can't ever see a field. He was on the field for what, 7 snaps?
Yeah, like I don't understand the purpose. Like, you got this speed demon, get him on the field and get some vertical stuff going. Like, utilize the speed that you have. You're not utilizing everything.
So didn't he call for AJ Brown and the kid they drafted from Western Michigan, who were both similar body types, but way faster? The kid they picked from Western Michigan, number 5 overall.
Then you call it, well, he wasn't the offensive coordinator when they did that. He was just probably a tight end coach when they picked Corey Davis.
But he called plays for Corey, right? Because Corey
No,
wasn't on the Jets.
probably maybe a period of time, yeah, like
So you,
his last year.
I'm trying to figure out why consistently you're running your X receiver on these vert routes in the 2-man concept, but it's because you're used to your X receiver separate.
Yeah, maybe, but the thing is, you drafted Drake knowing what he was, so like that's why I say he needs a passing game coordinator. He
I think
needs someone to bring in some
the
fresh
plays
eyes
that
to the
work.
passing game.
I think he might be stuck on the idea of the plays that worked. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, that's why I said they need a passing game coordinator. You got to bring in fresh eyes because the thing is, like, yeah, that stuff worked then, but the team is not the same. Like, you have a different style of back. This team is totally different from that Tennessee team.
and hopefully when CP come back, it'll look a little different. There might be some different spacing. I really hope Algier gets off because he's averaging like 2.1 per carry right now. Like it's pretty bad over the last 2 games. Like he cannot get off.
Well, I mean, the thing about Algier is Algier's not really going to do well for stack boxes because he doesn't. He's not going to make you miss much.
Mm-mm. But
But
we
like
running.
Bijan can capitalize on these stack boxes because if you get the flowing too hard, like you see on that run where he cut it back for 40, if you over pursue too much, Bijan can make you pay. Algier not so much.
But I felt like he was running against semi light boxes. Yeah, they were cheating a little bit, but like once they got up about 10, we were really in throwing situations at that point.
Jacksonville was in cover 3 for most of the game. They had a safety up and a safety in the box. They kept 8 in the box pretty consistently
Now
because
throughout the game,
they're following the blueprint that Detroit showed. Oh, they can't beat you passing, so we're just going to load the box, throw the ball, and we
now I
can't.
felt once we got rolling a little bit in the second half, I feel like that lightened up. It opened up some of the runs. It opened up a
Well,
little bit of the play action. I felt like
see,
that was a missed touchdown in the end zone, but I was totally okay with the play call. I was okay with the
I was
throw.
good with the play call. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the throw was there. It just didn't fall. You
The,
know what I'm saying? Like,
the thing is, the boxes didn't lighten up because they still don't respect us vertically. It's just Arthur Smith adjusted to what they were doing instead of just trying to run them into a brick wall. And Arthur Smith needs to understand that these teams are going to come out like Detroit did and how Jacksonville came out in the first half. They're going to load the box. So you need to be ready for that. And Ritter's not the quarterback that you could just drop back and just, okay, we're going to drop back and throw. You got to get the running game going. You got to find a way to get it going so he can operate off these players and keepers and bootlegs.
all right. So I mean, you kind of ran into what the true crux of it is, because like, is Ritter the quarterback? And like, we had this
I
start.
don't know.
Yeah, we had this talk at the beginning of the season, and I said about week 6 or 7 he was going to have a short leash. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. Come halftime, I took a phone call, and the first words before this man said hi to me was "Get him the out of here." I said, "All right, bro. Good afternoon or good morning. How you doing?" But it really boils down to like, Falcons fans are frustrated. I think we've been spoiled with Matt Ryan, and people didn't really appreciate his headiness and his
They didn't appreciate Matt Ryan at all. Nowhere near enough. They just act like Matt Ryan's grow on trees when they don't.
Yeah, no. This is most NFL's fan base's
Reality.
protection to
Yeah.
quarterbacks in reality. But
Yeah.
I said about a 6 game sample size because that'll give you 10. That'll give you 10 games. Once again, it goes back. You can't change the past, but this is exactly why he should have started after the Panthers game last year. Um,
I don't know if those games made a difference, but
hasn't lost at
I
home,
mean,
but hasn't won on the
yeah,
road.
so we'll see. We'll see this week as we got a home game versus the red hot CJ Stroud.
So as of right now, he's 4-4. One 300-yard game, 300 total yard offense game, not passing. You don't really have a pitch. You don't really have a pitcher in the bullpen. Like Heineke, you know what Heineke is, and you signed him to be a backup. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, what are your options? Where are you going? Are you going to ride this out with Ritter? Are you going to survive another 7-9 season or 7-10 season? You know,
He'll be here.
I think 3 years in a row with 7 wins, you got to start looking at what's going to change.
What's going to change is he's going to have to get an to just be the head coach. Or he's going to have to really take a hard look at this offense and make this offense more quarterback friendly. Because when you look at the offense as a whole, you have a elite talent at tight end. You have a first round receiver, and then you have a generational type running back. In a when things are going, the offensive line's okay. All of these things on paper sound like it should be a quarterback's dream. But the way the Arthur Smith is constructing this offense is not as quarterback friendly as you would think it is.
But I feel like the reads are pretty simple. I honestly, I'm looking to execution at this point, bro.
Okay,
I don't think
I get what you're saying, but it's like just running the ball and then play action and just 2-man routes. Like that's yes, it's simple, but it doesn't leave a whole lot of room for anything else. Like help the quarterback out, give him some 2-man routes is like it's trash. If it's predictable because
but
it's getting to the point. So it's getting to the point to where like look
line,
first Detroit.
if
Like
you're
look over Detroit. Detroit didn't bite on a play action not once. These teams are not like they know the play action and they know he had a great run game, but it's predictable. Like he's reminding me of Mike Mularkey a little bit.
uh, okay, I can see that because like hell, that got Mike Smith fired.
Yeah, like bring in like and Arthur Smith a very stubborn person.
You can see it in his play calling. You can see
Yeah,
that in his play
like
calling. That he is very stubborn.
because
Yeah.
he wants stuff to work his way, but sometimes that's just not the reality thing. So you need to bring some outside influences to bring life to this offense. So if that means you got to let go of Ragon and get an actual offensive coordinator in here to jumpstart this offense, then so be it. But Arthur Smith run game is elite, but the passing game is not where it needs to be.
It leaves a lot to be desired, and I think we talked about it about like you really rely on the physicality of your weapons. You know what I'm saying? Like you drafted these super good talents, but it just feels like one, both picks were inexcusable. And I've heard your points on the play calling on the second. I don't see it the same way, but we can agree to disagree there. But that pick six, there's no you can't defend that one. It wasn't play call. That's a high school concept, bro. That's a high school concept. Slant flat. If they go over, take the flat. If they go under, take the slant. That's high school, bro.
Yeah.
And so, like when the bullets are flying live, you can't see that one. You can't see the safety sitting on the route as you take it over in the middle. And hell, he's had picks that really should have been caught, but that haven't been. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he went a long ass time without throwing an interception. Didn't until last game. You know what I'm saying? But like, this league is smart. It's gonna figure you out. And like, he's at 3 right now with one rushing touchdown, and two passing.
Mm,
I'm thinking this off the top of my head. I only
I
remember
think
like
he has.
one
Let's see.
rushing touchdown.
He had one passing in the Carolina game. He had one passing, one rushing in the Packers game, and then he had
None past 2 weeks.
uh, no.
No, yeah.
He threw
So,
the one to Drake London. So he has four touchdowns and first three interceptions and a couple of fumbles.
and it begs the question, man. What are we really doing? You know what I'm saying? What are we? Are we just gonna roll with this all year? You know what I'm saying? Is this the plan? Is this gonna be the guy for the duration of the year? What's that record look like? And then what does the draft look like? Like,
See, my thing is like Ritter is definitely to blame, but Arthur Smith is too.
I feel like
Because
you
like
somebody.
yes, Arthur Smith has these exotic personnel groupings, but it's still pretty predictable where the ball's going. Like if you see Bijan at receiver go in motion, where's the ball going?
Well, no, because that pissed me off. I done seen him put Bijan in motion and then hand to Algier to a stack box. That don't make no sense.
No, but it's predictable. Like, cause like the thing is, he'll probably throw Bijan out there because there's a good chance he's gonna get the ball, but at the same time, like he's still using them. Like he uses motion on about like 90% of his plays, or if not higher than that.
Yeah, yeah. But it's unnecessary motion too, because like I think so. The whole point of it, I think, is to give Ritter a solid read on whether it's man or zone. But teams just don't move, and they'll have an unbalanced side. They just don't care because they don't think that you can throw the ball and read their defense in enough time. They just don't. I watched Kyle Pitts come in motion across the line, slip, and go back, and not a soul on the defense moved.
Well, sometimes it's not about moving. Sometimes it's just about seeing if you can get the matchup you want. Because a lot of because like that's why Shanahan does the motions because he's trying. Shanahan is a master of finding the matchup that he wants
That's
and
why I
attacking
feel
it.
like it. That's why I feel like it's pointless motion. That's because like your defense, your offense doesn't look like it goes to pinpoint inadequacies in the defense. There wasn't there wasn't a corner it looked like you were picking on. There wasn't a linebacker it looked like you were running at. It literally looked like these are my plays, and I'm gonna call my plays, and they're gonna work because they're my plays.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. That is exactly what it looks like because it doesn't look like he's picking on any particular player or because even in games where like say a cornerback gets hurt, typically most teams they're drawing up a shot to go right at the cornerback. Okay, we're going the ball at them
Yeah,
because
like
like even in the Panthers game, he got it right in the second half, but it's like just as much as Desmond Ritter gets off to these slow starts, so does Arthur Smith.
and that's why I was saying, like, what does our first 15 look like? What is
I
the overall plan that they're trying to produce in our offense? Because like as you're watching it unfold throughout the game, I don't see a clear plan outside of we're gonna run the ball and then we're gonna play action and then we're gonna hit a deep shot eventually. But in the meantime, we're gonna dink and dunk down the field. Like, and I can tell you that sitting on my couch, you know what I'm saying, playing Monday morning, playing Sunday afternoon quarterback. I can like tell you where the ball's going, and I don't do this for a living. So like that's an issue. You know what I'm saying? Like if I can see your formation and I'm calling out play action, what do you think these guys who do this for a living are doing?
easy pickings.
And I would like to see a little more. a little more direction in the offense. I guess is what I'm looking for. His run schemes are amazing, but like, there's no other way to say it. You're gonna run the ball against everyone. Like, even when you run, it feels like it's more about how smart you are running the ball than it is about running with a purpose. Like, it would have been different if you were like, we're gonna run at Trayvon Walker, right? We're gonna run at Josh Allen. Like, it didn't feel that way. It felt like, ooh, look at this really cool run scheme I came up with. And I guess that gets like that's your calling card. It gets people to say, oh, he's a genius offensively. But like, you know, even on the ESPN network, they were saying like everybody keeps telling me he's a good offensive coach, when they were talking about Justin Fields. And it's like, yeah, everybody does keep saying that. And when you look at it on film, it looks really creative, but like it feels like it lacks a purpose. It lacks a defined point of attack to a defense's weak spot. And I feel like every other great offensive mind that we think about does that outside of Andy Reid. I don't feel like Andy Reid actually does that, but I feel like he's a much more creative offensive mind and always has.
He's creative. Like I don't think he necessarily. But Reed, he doesn't really attack. He just gonna be like, I'm gonna scheme this shit up so nice. It don't matter who it is. It's gonna work.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like Arthur Smith think he that, but bro, you're not him.
Now it is interesting that you say that though, because I was reading the article, and Andy Reid is one of the guys that Arthur Smith idolizes.
Yeah. And you can kind of see it. Like, Andy Reid is going to run his plays however he wants to run his plays, and like, bro, find a way to stop him. And like Arthur Smith, you think you're that, but like you're not.
Yeah,
But I'm
Arthur Smith.
hoping.
I'm gonna need Arthur to I'm gonna need him like, because the thing is, but even with Andy, he's still open to suggestion. I'm not sure how open to suggestion Arthur Smith is,
And I think that's I
because
think
like,
that's the issue.
yeah, because like I remember Andy Reid in the interview was like, yeah, man, I take plays from anywhere. I took a play from the stadium janitor, and his wife was like, oh, that's my play, and his wife was like, no, it's not. I don't believe you, but yeah, it's just like inspiration can come from anywhere, and I'm not sure Arthur Smith is doing himself and his team the service that it needs to be. Like the run game's amazing, and due to the way he schemes up the run game, it doesn't really run because he's going to have a high success. But with the pass game, I'm gonna need him to be a little more purposeful.
And I can agree with that. I can agree with that because it doesn't look like there's a rhyme or reason. But we bemoaned about this game long enough. I think that reasonably, first half, disaster. Second half, pretty good. Like you mentioned, we move on to the Red Hot Texans. Looking the next week, like you said, we play the Red Hot Texans coming off a 30-6 win versus Steelers, where they even injured their quarterback. CJ Stroud, 300 yards passing multiple times, no interceptions, 5 or 6 touchdowns. Um, this rookie's on fire, bro. And the guy Carolina thinking like, maybe we might have took the wrong guy, but I don't think it falls all on him. One, I think their coach is like transformative. I think D'Amico Ryans is like going to be an amazing head coach. And then he's got a lot of weapons around him. Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Michi ain't even really been doing much, but he's out there. And then their running back Pierce is pretty good.
I'm really just chalking it up to the Shanahan coaching tree, and they just got a quarterback with high end tools they could truly operate this thing and show you what it could look like when you got a good quarterback doing it.
He looks, man, hey, the kid looks
Yeah,
good.
because like the last time we seen a high end quarterback in this type of offense was 2016 with the Falcons.
Yeah. And the Shanahan tree all pretty much runs the same plays, the same coaching like philosophies. But
Yeah,
I think like getting that speedy wide receiver who can play kind of like that switch role is is always good. And they really have that in Tank Dell.
Tank Dell was on all favorite teams out of the draft. Um, little bit, I wanted him in Atlanta. I really did. Didn't work out obviously, but they they uh they got a nice collection of weapons. Young, but hopefully we can get back on track and maybe slow this rookie down. I mean, considering we do have one of the better pass defenses in the NFL, hopefully we could bring CJ his welcome to the NFL moment.
I'm hoping at it, but Bobby Sloag is like the next coming of the great um coordinator like Zach Taylor. Like I didn't think Zach Taylor was all that good. Shanahan tree by way of McVay, but like he does have the fundamentals down. Their quarterbacks don't just get ransacked like that. They have awkward blocking schemes, but their lines usually play pretty good, and it's because there's a huge push on the run, and then what's it called? The pass game off the run, and the looks look almost identical. So it's like your defense doesn't really know whether it's time to tee off or kind of stay back and look for a hole.
Yeah,
And I think
that
that's
that
like
that's
a
something
great coach.
that's something the author could use, making everything look the same.
Yeah, like they line up in three wide receiver set, and you don't know if that's a run, a play action, a flea flicker, a dig with a vert action behind it, offside run. Like they move that tight end around. It's really creative,
Yeah,
but the base is all similar. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's
yeah,
almost like Madden where you choose like a play formation and then you run like every single play out of that formation, right? Before going on to the next.
yeah. That's essentially what they do. Because you don't really know, and it's impressive how they able to do it because like they had no, I don't think they had any of their starters on the offensive line, and they went against that Steelers defense, and it was business as usual.
Yeah, Green just went out with a torn MCL. So like I good one, hope he gets better, God bless. But like I do think our defense should be able hopefully to provide some pressure, but I think a good part of providing pressure comes with playing with a lead, right? And no team has really been able to just get a jump on this Texans team.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair.
I look at And I think a good part of that comes with their defense. I really like Harris. I've always liked him. Grenard and Will Anderson Jr. are kind of your bookends. Will Anderson looks really small, bro. Like he looks really small, which is crazy because like he was a monster at Alabama, but like his body type
I
just
mean, he wasn't the biggest guy. I think he's like, he might be a little long. I think he's like what 6'3", 6'4", but he's only like 240.
yeah, and with his hand in the dirt, he doesn't look like he's getting much push off or lip. He had that block kick, and I think he's got one sack on the year, but I'm not really super worried about him. Even though he's the number 3 overall pick, I'm not. Now that doesn't mean that he can't get off on McGarry because McGarry does struggle a little bit with speed. So
Yeah,
hopefully that's not a matchup they go hunting on. But I do think that this is a game in which I could see us going the way of the Steelers and it being like a 30-6 type situation, or I could see us going the way of the Colts when they played the Texans and it being like a 35-32 type of game. Like,
I'm hoping for the Baltimore game where it was 20 something to 9.
yeah, well, that was CJ's first game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I think, I feel like he's responded pretty well to that. And even in that game, I think he had 300 yards passing. Um,
No, he didn't get it until he played the Colts.
there it goes. So when I look at him, when I take all those factors into account, it's hard. It's hard after the last 2 weeks to pick a Falcons win. But if I had to, which I don't have to, but I always will because that's my team, I'm more so thinking of a 21-17, 24-17 type of game. Feeling like we keep their offense in check for the most part, and we put some points on the board. What you think?
I'm leaning. I think this game's going to look score wise kind of like when we played the Panthers. About two. I like us for a 2-position win. Um, Getting back at home, back in front of the fans.
24-10 type of thing, or more
Yeah,
than?
it's 24-10, maybe 27-14. But I'm looking at something in one of those ranges.
I feel like
Especially with us being back at home.
being like super optimistic, asking the offense who scored 13 points the last 2 weeks to score 24 and 27 respectively.
I mean, yeah, but like I said, back at home, like those two games is stinkers. They were on the road.
Which is true. They have played well at home. So, hey, looking forward to it. Go Falcons. And next, we move on to in division to see what else everybody else in the division did. Looking forward to in division. So, as the division was 1-3 this week, and it was only 1-3 because somebody had to win that Bucks Saints game. So we got the Bucks ahead at 3-1, beating the Saints 26-9. We at 2-2 right now after our loss. The Saints at 2-2 after theirs, and then the Panthers 0-4, lost to the Vikings 21-13. Ah, that was it was a rough loss for them, especially considering how their defense played. But we actually know that life has them now and still have 2 wins. So
Yeah.
what stuck out to you this week about the division, man?
Um, Nothing really stood out. Everything pretty much went as I expected it. Um, well, the Panthers might be worse than I thought they were.
Definitely think they're worse than most of us realized.
Um, but I I I thought the Bucks would probably. I thought the Bucks weren't getting enough respect because people were just writing them off. Oh, the Bucks are going to be in the Caleb Williams conversation, and I'm like, this team is still a talented team. They just don't got Brady. It's the same team otherwise.
And as of right now, they're leading the division. Not sure if it's good or bad. They got an early bye, so their next game is in 14 days versus the Lions. Uh, the Saints, they play the Pats next week. So, I really think we need to handle things against the Texans. Otherwise, we could be looking at third in the division because I think the Patriots are just a god awful team this year. Like Bill is always going to coach up that defense and that special teams. But one, they're making like special teams errors. Um, but they're same boat we're in, bro. Their quarterback is just bad. I think they're god awful this year.
I
Um,
don't even know if it's just the quarterback because Max is not. He's not. Just my running back, but that offense is not really great.
no. And they got Clef Chin, Texans coach.
Bill O'Brien.
Bill O'Brien. There you go. They got him back. So the offense looks like competent now, but just what Matt's doing in the offense just is just bad. Um, but yeah, no, like you brought out the Panthers. The Panthers might be worse. The Panthers might be worse than most of us realized. Their next game is versus the
Oh
Lions.
yeah.
The Lions have been red hot, playing really. I think they beat the dust off the Panthers, bro. Like I think that game gets ugly quick, and now you're looking at an 0-5 season, and I think that would officially put them out.
Um,
I
I
said,
don't think the Panthers.
go ahead.
Listen, I don't think the Panthers ever really expected to be in a playoff hunt this particular year, but they might start 0-5, but I do expect them to get some momentum and steam going toward the end of the season. I expect them to add a receiver around the trade deadline. I'll be keeping an eye out for T. Higgins to Carolina. They want a number one receiver. I don't think Cincinnati's about to pay him.
It just
So I
seems
mean,
so counterproductive to trade away a dominant number one receiver. I get it; it gets you the number one
I
overall.
wouldn't call I wouldn't call DJ more dominant. But
I mean, his stats did dictate he was dominant. You know what I'm saying? And he was a true number one.
I seen the stats. They didn't say dominant to me, but he only had one season of maybe 1,000 yards. Everything else has been like 800 yards.
I mean, he was clearly their best wide receiver. And if I
I
had to
mean,
choose between him and T. Higgins with my quarterback situation, I think it's kind of a wash.
it could be a watch, but I mean, saying he's their best receiver is like Drake London's our best receiver. You gonna call him one of the best in the league?
And like, he had like almost 1,200 yards 3 years in a row, bro.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
No, he did not.
Bro, 19, he had 87 for 1,175. 2020, he had 66 for 1,193. And then 2021, he had 93 for 1,157.
I could have sworn when I looked at this. Oh, but you somebody so his first 3 years, and then he went down to eight. But that's none of us dominant though.
I feel like,
No,
what was your quarterback situation those 3 years, though?
D Hop didn't care about no quarterback situation. He just
That's
balled.
that's completely different.
That's dominant. You get what I'm saying? D Hop was dominant. DJ Moore was good, but that's dominant.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, you had a very very good number one wide receiver, right? And like it just seems super counterproductive to now give up more draft capital to kind of correct that mistake. You know what? We can circle back to that one in City Talk. I think that'd be a great one. But as I'm looking forward in this division, the Bucks aren't going to move, but they got 3 wins. Uh, I do think the Saints are going to win next week, so we definitely need to beat the Texans to keep pace. It's a little too early to talk about playoffs, but these wins really need to start adding up.
Definitely, they definitely need to start adding up in a very fast way.
We move on next to Gimme Props, and we look at Taj betting for the first time.
And I flopped. That's all good.
All right, give me props. Betting portion of the show, my man. Um, you know what? Hey, look, I'll go first. It was a 2-3 week. It was hard out here for your boy. 9-11 overall for the season. If you bet with me, you done lost some money. You ain't even break even. I ain't gonna lie to you, big dog. So extra points made. Coup over 1.5. We just didn't get in the end zone. I like to tell a story with my bets, And so usually whatever score that I put out there, I kind of make my bets match that. And I really thought last week that we were going to have some sort of offensive showing after that game in Detroit. So we just didn't get in the end zone. Bijan longest rush over 15 yards, cash that. Scored a touchdown. Ridley cash that. Almost was a bad bet because for the rest of the day he got locked down. That was just um, a busted coverage. This is the one right here. Ritter over 19 and a half completions. Didn't cash because this man made 19 completions. I said, oh, and Pitts over 35 and a half yards. Didn't cash. Next week isn't out yet. We're recording on Tuesday, so I'll be dropping them on socials. But yeah, not a fun week for me, man.
Wouldn't hurt me either.
So
I just knew that my prop was going to hit. I just knew it was automatic. You get London and London, it had to be.
now, see, I would have went London to score a touchdown, but I'm not gonna lie. London over 43 and a half was it should have been an easy cash.
Should have been. Yeah. If Ritter could have threw to the other team a couple times less, then who knows?
He was looking for him on the slant. I felt like all of them were trying to. I felt like they were trying to get their offensive players involved, but bro, it just was not. It was not the day for it. Like it was not working. So are you gunshot now? Am I not gonna get you next week?
Maybe. Who knows? We'll see.
All right. Well, as always, I'll put mine out on social. Or hell, just for betting points, we might get together on Thursday and drop like a 10-15 minute betting pod or something, just so y'all know our picks for the week or something. I don't know. Point is, we'll drop it. We'll have it out in the open. I'm gonna try to make Taj a degenerate. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep working at him. It's never good when your first one is a loss, because then you don't want to spend money no more.
Right.
But it's all right. We move on to City Talk. City Talk. So, my man, first thing we got to hit on, Caleb versus Shador. That game was hella fun to watch.
Oh, definitely.
So when I seen Caleb 6 touchdowns, I think he's gonna be the first dude in forever to back for the Heisman. But in that second half, Shador showed that he belonged on that field. I don't think they was going out like they did against Oregon.
They don't want to back to back. I said this Sunday y'all playing with.
And now I look at it, I think he has solidified himself as Caleb obviously was the number 1 overall pick, but I definitely think Shador has solidified himself as a first round pick at this point. If he chooses to come out this year, I think he should come back for another year. But if he chooses to come out, I think he's solidified himself.
I think he's gonna stay. I think they're going to the Pac-12 and the Big 12 next year. I know they're switching divisions, and it's gonna be a big year for Colorado, and I'm pretty sure Shador's gonna be there to try to really go after it.
I think if they are going to the Big 12. So I think like the passing records that this man's about to put up is about to be stupid. Their coordinator used to be a head coach. You know what I'm saying? Left his head coaching position to come and coach this man, and he's showing out. And I think it's like a double-edged sword for Caleb, because like you can't go higher than 1. So like you can only go down. You know what I'm saying? You can only show that people are close to your level. You can't like raise your stock or profile anymore. You've been the number one pick for like 2 years now. But like when you see quarterbacks playing against him that look like they can be like competent or on his level, like I'm not gonna lie to you. Bo Nix, I seen him at Auburn. I've seen him at Oregon. I don't consider him a good NFL quarterback. I don't. And I don't think that Shador's game was indicative of the type of quarterback that he is against Oregon. I felt like this USC game was a much better representation of like you could put up points, I could put up points, and it almost felt like, bro, if Colorado can get a stop and get them the ball back, I trust Shador with the ball.
Yeah. But he also got a lot more help offensively than games too.
No, also true. Also true. Um, Colorado's just not there yet. They're just not there. But the fact that they could hang with USC for a good minute, I think bodes well for their future.
Definitely. And recruits love watching that. And like, oh, so they ain't gonna lay down. Okay, you know what? I mean,
Prime has that effect, man. Like you want to, his coaches you'll run through a wall for, man. And I think that he's gonna raise the profile of them players once he starts. Like I don't think they have any draftable players this year outside of number 3, the running back, who I think is a junior and probably not coming out.
He's only a freshman. He's a
number
freshman.
3.
Yeah, true freshman. I forgot what his name is, but
I thought he was a transfer.
Edwards. Edwards. He's a true freshman.
He's a true freshman? Oh, okay. That true freshman, number 14 wide receiver they had, my boy.
Oh, yeah.
He was going dumb.
He might be one of them ones.
He might be. I got to see it a couple more times. You know what I'm saying? And then Travis Hunter, like, you've got some draft. It looks like you might have some draftable players in the coming years. That's only going to raise the profile of that program. I don't know where Coach Prime ends up. Colorado's not his last stop. Let's just keep it real. I think he's done with Florida State. I don't think he'd take that job if they begged him.
But if he builds an empire in Colorado, why would he leave?
I think like money, resources, and then the ability to recruit at a certain level just isn't available no matter how cult of a personality you have. So like Jim Harbaugh.
Why would it be?
It's never been the case. I can't say Jim Harbaugh. I'll probably say like James Franklin. Penn State is a huge brand.
Okay.
He's a really likable guy. But like certain kids just ain't gonna come play in the middle of Pennsylvania. It's not gonna happen.
Okay, but look at it like this.
Your state itself is a pretty good football recruiting base. So like that's what Penn State pretty good. But Penn State, like not a lot of football big wise is in like Pennsylvania. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the thing though. Deion got the number one player to go to a JUCO. You think he can't get to go to Colorado?
You know what? You ain't lying. Because water
he got well, to Jackson State. And Colorado got money. It costs what? I think he got the price at the $700 for a suite. Like the money gonna be there, the resources gonna be there. In Colorado, if I'm not mistaken, they did have a national championship, I believe. So like, I don't see why you couldn't do it. The money's there.
I don't know. When I think
players want to play for him.
When I think Deion, I literally think Texas, Florida, not Mississippi or Alabama, maybe I really just see him in the SEC in the South, honestly. Like
I
that's
mean,
like
he could, but
Dion. That's what I
the,
see. You know what I'm saying? So
the
like
the thing with
it always
Dion
feels
though
like
is
Colorado's a stepping stone.
I I I don't know what it is. I mean, it could be, but I also feel like Colorado could be it. Like unless he gets like an impossible job to turn down, Colorado could be it because like he got these Florida boys out there. He got people entering the portal. I want to go play for Prime. Him getting players is never going to be an issue.
That's true. And his whole team is built off transfers, which leads us to the second topic. What do you think this trade market is about to look like throughout the season? Well, you hinted on it a little bit earlier with Carolina, but
Mhm.
what do you think overall are some players that could be on the move or like moves that maybe need to be made?
Um, it's difficult to say. Um, Probably with one trade that probably comes to my mind is maybe Jonathan Taylor. I don't know where he would go.
I don't feel like anybody's going to pay him what he wants to get paid.
I think he's probably conceded. I mean, he can't get the contract right now anyway. He would have to wait to the end of the season. So
Yeah, I'm saying the team trades for him. Like I feel like his value is non-existent because if a team trades for him, they're gonna pay him, and if they're not gonna pay him, what are you gonna trade him? What are you gonna trade for him for if he's just finna sit like he's doing with the Colts?
no, well, no, they activated him off the pup list, so he
Bro,
he,
if
he could be able
you
to play.
isn't gonna pay me, my ankle hurts again.
No, he's been practicing this week, I believe,
If
or
you
or
trade,
he's going to practice tomorrow.
if you trade me and this team is not gonna pay me, my ankle hurts again. I'm going to get surgery. Figure it out. Like you understand me? Like, no, bro. No. No. I'm not putting my body in harm's way, bro. That's not happening. Now,
I mean, but the thing
if
is, he won't be able to get the contract until after the season.
no, he won't be
Because I
able
think like
to until after the season. And since he missed he kind of did a hold in and played with it or whatever. So I'm pretty sure if he doesn't appear in a game this season, his contract is gonna roll over. And
I
that
don't think it will because he's been there.
That's what I was saying. He kind of played the system in training camp because I know if you miss a certain number of days and then he started the season on the pup list, so like those in conjunction can lead to your contract holding over for another year. So he needs to
I mean,
at least appear in a game this season.
no, I mean he's on the active roster. All you gotta do is be on the active roster because they took him off the pup list.
So he's looking like
So,
I don't think
so he,
anybody's gonna trade for his contract. I don't think anybody's gonna trade for Chase Claypool. That was stupid. Like
no, I think they're about to cut him. I believe.
they should have been cut him. When he was running the lazy routes, bro, they should have been cut him, dog. Like, y'all suck. And I mean that like in the nicest way. Y'all suck. And like without accountability, there can be no change. The fact that that man had a job the next day is wild. If I went to work and I was just like, not only am I not gonna do this, I'm gonna actively do things to hurt other members of the team and then clock back in tomorrow like it's all gravy. That's a bold man, dog. It's a bold man. Like they should have been cut Claypool. Then they're gonna be like, oh, we're gonna trade him. I wouldn't give you a seventh round pick for him, bro. Wouldn't give you a bag of potato chips and a hot fart. Get out of here. Like, no,
Dang.
no, no. That was nah, bro. Cause like I love football, man, and I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough to play in the. I wasn't good enough to play college. I'm not good enough to play in the NFL. Like you have that opportunity, and like the one thing you can always control, you can't control if your coach is a dummy, like and calls stupid plays or like doesn't feature you in the offense. If your quarterback's up, you can't control none of that. You can always control your effort. You can always control your effort, bro. So like lazy route running and then just like straight up refusing to run routes is like, nah, bro. Like if I was a GM, like, bro, you're not coming on the team plane. Like find a way home type shit, bro. It's my little rant
That's
for
fair.
like, and then I don't think there's gonna be any drastic quarterback movement. I think the Jets are okay riding out with Wilson.
No, Wilson looked great. On Monday night.
That game.
Um,
Sunday.
I think that game. Well, Sunday, my bad. Um, yeah, but he looked great on Sunday night. I think that game could be like one of the games that gets it going for him because that's the first time he actually looked like the person I saw at BYU.
I don't know. I gotta him so because he had one game versus Steelers last year that looked like that. I gotta see it a couple more times from him. I really do. Um, this is the Shanahan style offense, so like maybe there are significantly easier reads. But like this offense was modified to fit Aaron Rodgers, who is a
I mean,
very like say what you want and being quirky, very cerebral quarterback. Like
it is, but I mean, it's been a Shanahan style offense since he got drafted.
also true. But they've gone through two different variations of it, right? So you're seeing new offensive coordinators. Like it does kind of change what you're seeing, what the maybe not verbiage per se, but like where your eyes are focusing on. Because everybody has their own little twist to it. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I think that and this coordinator was brought in specifically to work with Aaron Rodgers, who put his own twist on this offense in Green Bay. You know what I'm saying? So like, I honestly I think the Chiefs game looks so good because they dumbed it down a little bit. If I'm just
But the thing is,
I'm just
Hackett didn't even call the plays in Green Bay.
yeah,
He was the quarterback coach. He just had the relationship with Rodgers.
because his offense in Denver last year
Denver sucked.
looked nothing like this. Denver absolutely sucks, and they can't get rid of Russell Wilson's contract. Like people are talking
Nope.
about, oh, they could take the hit. I went and looked at it on Spot Track, where you can't. You can't. If they cut him, it's like an $85 million cap hit,
Yeah. Like Russell, shout out to his agent.
bro. On God, bro. Like, he they can't get out of that contract. But I really don't see them being able. Like, they don't have no draft capital. They can't really trade for anything. I don't even know. Vance Joseph is just terrible. So like, I don't even know where you start to try to fix that team. And you don't have your first round. No, you do have your first round pick
No,
this year.
they got the first this year. They traded it last year. They got it
Yeah,
this year.
but like, it's hard out here. The Chargers, freaking Justin Herbert finger was the wrong way. On your non-throwing hand because you out there trying to play Captain Save him. You know what I'm saying? You threw a pick, bro. Get down. Make it look believable, but get down. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
as a defensive player, I'm looking for a quarterback to hit, bro.
And I'm running you a smack over.
Like what? Like you want to be part of the play? Let's play. So, I feel like hopefully that doesn't like taint their season because I feel like the Chargers are decent. But I don't feel like there's gonna be any quarterback movement. There's
It
obviously
shouldn't be.
trade fodder out there. Um, the Bears moving on from Justin Fields, right? I'm gonna be honest with you. I no move happens on that until the end of the season.
If they do that, then that pretty much shows they going for Caleb.
Yeah, but like, not only do they have their pick this year, which is looking like
They
it's
got Carolina.
as pick, got Carolina's pick. So like, even if you end up with pick, you don't end up with 1-5. You end up with like 2-4. You're looking at Drake May and Marvin Harrison Jr. You know what I'm saying? Or Drake May and some really sweet offensive linemen.
Yeah.
I think no matter what, with that Carolina pick as well, like with having that Carolina pick as well, and it sucks for Fields, but like I feel like this is a hard reset. Like
Oh, it is. And
I
the
don't,
coaches are gone too.
yeah, I
Well,
don't,
no, the coaches might not be gone.
I don't see a world in which he's on the team next year.
Yeah,
And
it's a
to
wrap.
be honest, that's regardless of whatever record. Like, unless they win like 10, 11 games. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And
Like,
I don't see that happening starting on 4.
yeah, unless they do something crazy. Like,
He finally had his best game as a pro. He finally broke 300 yards,
you know what killed me?
4 touchdowns.
Like, what really killed me about that game, bro? Everybody's gonna remember that Justin Fields pick at the end, right? Because like
Yep.
the receiver was supposed to run through. He stopped and thought Fields was going to throw behind him to like throw him open type thing, so he could turn into the field. But like Fields like threw like you were supposed to keep running. Maybe y'all didn't see the same thing. It looked like it was man coverage. Whatever. Everybody's going to remember the Fields pick at the end, but they not going to remember that it was fourth down and you didn't kick the field goal. You ran the
Yeah,
ball right
that was stupid.
Ran
That
the
was
ball
stupid.
right in the middle, bro. You gotta help. You gotta help your guy out, bro. Cause like, if here's my thing, because this is true. If they went up 31-28, Russell got the ball, tied it at 31. Russell got the ball in overtime and scored a touchdown, and they won 38-3. Nobody comes in today and is like, "Yo, same old Fields. Fields is trash. Blase, blase."
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but both Fields, it goes from that to Fields did all he could.
Did everything could. He didn't get the ball back. Right? But
Mm-hmm.
like now is, oh, this Broncos defense got 70 hung on them. I mean, hell, they let Justin Fields score 28. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you
Mm-hmm.
threw the pick it, because you were the GOAT at the end, because you threw the pick. You know what I'm saying? And I thought that was just absolute terrible coaching, but like not even
Always.
in terms of the game. Because like or in most senses, I don't disagree with the call. But it's like you gotta help your quarterback out there, bro.
Oh yeah.
There was
You gotta
another
help him.
there was another call like that. I want to say it was the was it
Colts
Vikings?
and Rams. Oh no.
Colton Rams. No, I once the Rams got the ball, I knew it was over. Once the Rams got the ball, I knew it was over. But look, nobody's saying prime example. No one's saying anything about Anthony Richardson today. No one says anything about Anthony Richardson. He's great. He's got a lot of promise. This is all good, but it's because he never got to touch the ball again.
I mean, but even if he did throw the pick, it still would be a different narrative. This is because Fields has been. This is year 3 for Fields. Like they got the MVP talk on him and all that.
Yeah, in 5-24 as a starter, that's just it's bad. It's
Like
bad. I'm not.
it's like the media is kind of like set up to turn on him. I like Fields, but the amount of hype they put on him was unfair to him.
And I'm not gonna lie. If you want to be honest, we talk about Ritter can't read the field. Fields is not reading. He's not reading.
Oh, he's not.
He's one look and then he's out. And would that be really cool for our offense? I would love to see how our offense would look with really dynamic playmaking at quarterback. But
You did. You saw it.
yeah,
You,
I
you saw it last year with Mariota.
I think that would be the exact like how our offense looked last year with Mariota. It would be slightly worse looking with Fields
Yeah.
because I think they are sadly the exact same quarterback. But
Yeah.
I feel like people don't recognize that like I said, we're spoiled with Matt Ryan, man. People don't recognize like this is real NFL life right here, man, where it's like you're just good enough to be a 7-8 win team, and there's no real hope at quarterback in the middle of the first round. You're either gonna overdraft somebody or you're gonna, just run it back with a mediocre cat.
Overpaid and get somebody.
And I don't even see anybody on the market. Maybe Kirk Cousins.
Honestly, I would take a Kirk Cousins with our team.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't be super opposed to it in a dome. In a dome and mini, he's super productive. But like, who wants to sign a 34-year-old Kirk Cousins, bro?
I don't care how old he is. If he's better than Ritter, I'll take him.
I think at that point, like, I would love to see
Okay.
some different type of team building to where it's okay if we're gonna get Kirk and then maybe we draft another guy in the second. Because like I don't think you can take Ritter from 4 games at the end of a rookie year, starter this year, and then leave him on the team when you draft Kirk Cousins. Like it's you probably leave him on the team for that third year, but yeah, no, he's not gonna be your long term solution.
I mean, he won't be long. He'll finish out his contract.
Oh no, I don't. I
Uh,
don't think he. I don't think he finishes out that fourth year. I think he draft over him. Hmm?
no, I believe he'll finish out the contract. I don't see why he wouldn't.
No, I think you draft over him because like if you sign Kirk at 34, he'll play that third year of contract. There's a fourth year contract. Kirk's 35. You've already decided like he's not the guy. So rather than to have him sit for another year, you would draft over him. Like you draft a quarterback in the first round or something.
I mean, yeah, you would probably still draft. You could you would just keep 3 quarterbacks.
I don't think you can. Yeah, just like like you a man, bro. Like as a man, you can't go from this is my team, I'm running things to like, yo, this rookie got drafted over me. I lost my job last year, and now someone's been drafted over me, and like think that's gonna be a good situation.
It's the business. It's like
Hey, yeah, but like you're dealing with people. You know what I'm saying? Like
you
the,
dealing with people, but at the same time, he understands what he got into.
which but
It's unfortunate.
I think that situation right there is why the Niners cut Trey Lance.
Well, see, that's the difference though. Trey Lance just took third overall. They gave up 3 first rounds to get him. They took Ritter in the third round. They didn't give up anything to get him.
Yeah, but listen to what they did this offseason. This is your team. This is it. Like you started your rookie year. They basically for hella high water have said we're gonna give you this year. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
So
yeah, they said they were going to give him a shot, and they gave him a shot. They didn't lie to him.
man,
It,
but yeah, so like
get him the shot how you can ask for it, but what he do with it's up to him.
yeah, but like I just like when that shot's over, I just think like that guy usually doesn't remain on the team just because like it's one thing we didn't talk about. Look, we're terrible on time. We're gonna be quick with this last one. All right. The one thing we didn't talk about, bro, the blow up on the sideline.
Oh, with Matt Collins.
Bruh, he said what every Falcons fan was thinking at that point in time. And I'm not gonna lie to you. Play wise, I don't mind. But in that moment, I do not like how Ritter reacted, bro. I ain't gonna say he bitched out, but like,
He did.
okay. Okay. Like,
Cause he was like, it's all right. He looked, Matt Collins was like, fuck out my face. He was like, okay.
yeah, and just kind of sat and like stared off into the distance or whatever. And it's like the
But,
only
but
other
like the
quarterback that
body
you
language
can
from this game It's different because like you see Drake London and Desmond Ritter sit next to each other, and Drake don't even blink at it, Desmond Ritter's direction. He looking straight ahead. He ain't even looking at Dez. And then they got other shots of him sitting on the sideline just by himself on the bench by himself.
And I'm
Like,
telling you, bro, the only other quarterback I seen disrespected like that was Russell Wilson, bro. And we see where the Broncos are. Like, there is never a situation in which because wide receivers run hot. They run hot. All skill positions run hot. I would say corners too. But there's never really a position where a wide receiver is yelling at a QB like that, and a coach don't step in, a player don't step in, or the quarterback don't stand up for itself, bro. And like everybody kind of just like let that happen.
well, the thing is, it happened so quick because it was just like a boom. He came over for the dap. Dude was like fucking my face or whatever he said, and then that was the end of it.
I feel like he I feel like he was speaking for the team, bro. I feel like he was speaking for the team. And
No, I believe that because they frustrated
yeah,
because like this team has expectation and our expectations unfortunately are directly tied to the quarterback.
I think
So
that is definitely a situation to watch. And if the locker room turns on you, it's over. You know what I'm saying? Like that was Wilson last season. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like where he had like the really bad post game comments, like, do you think that you cost the team this game? And he's like, not really. And they had lost like 10-3 because he couldn't complete like swing passes. And like you lost the locker room. You know what I'm saying? And we just couldn't function with you a quarterback anymore. And he said all the right things in the presser, you know what I'm saying, and like dismiss stuff, but like that is definitely something to watch because he was the reason he started leadership, intangibles. If these guys quit believing in you, like they're gonna go to Heineke just off the strength.
because they have no other choice but to at that point.
Yeah. But we're on to next week. Appreciate you guys for coming to join out with us. I feel like we did decent on time. Maybe. Not really. Anyway,
Nah,
we'll catch y'all next week. This has been your boy Q City.
it's more time for
We out.